Clerk will call the roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Roy Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy H. Wynn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Here.
J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Before, our invocation this morning is going to be delivered by Dave Barrett from our Sheriff's Department. But before we have him come forward for the invocation, I would like for us to have a moment of silence for Chris Kyle and Chad Littlefield, who were both killed this past weekend. Both were veterans. Both were spent a great deal of their time helping disabled veterans. And again, this just points out the problems that many of these folks have when they come back from combat, and how important it is that we work with them to try to welcome them back and to help them get back into the communities as they go forward. So if you will, just for a moment of silence. Thank you. Dan?
Let us pray. And Lord, we do pray for the souls of the departed and for your help for their loved ones. Almighty God, we bring before you our struggles and shortcomings, being confident of your mercy. We bring before you our need for guidance and wisdom for today, being confident of your grace. We bring ourselves before you, being confident of your love. We are confident because you have always provided, even when we did not recognize our need. And in that confidence, we thank you in advance for today's supply, and only ask that we act worthy of the confidence you show in us through your giving. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Members of the Court, we have one agenda announcement for you this morning, and also we have one item that we'd like to, we're going to ask Dawn Youngblood to come up just as soon as I'm finished with the agenda announcements, to basically make an announcement for the Historical Commission. Members of the Court, if we could go to the agenda, this would be under Transportation. Item 9L2, this is a action to receive and file an annexation by the City of Fort Worth. We're going to hold that particular item for 1 week to make sure we have all the paperwork completed on that. And at this time, Your Honor, Members of the Court, I'm going to ask Dr. Youngblood to come forward and speak a little bit about an upcoming convention.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Judge Whitley and Commissioners, I'd like to point out to your attention that we are hosting here in Fort Worth the 117th meeting of the Texas State Historical Association. All of the photographs that are in the program that you see here are from our county archives, and so we should all be very proud of the wonderful archives that we do have. Also, there is an annual report in there showing all the progress we've made in the archives over the last year. And a third item is the 2 murals that are being put up in Bedford and Hearst. The vast majority of the images are from the Tarrant County archives, and those will be there with credit for all to see. And I hope you enjoy these items. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's Bill Salvers.
Is that a picture of J.D., did you say?
Paybacks are rough, boys.
Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting of January the 29th.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes
Second.
unanimously in a minute as soon as Gary. Yeah, there we go.
I got it.
Now comes an addition to the great honor it is to have our employee recognition. We also have another announcement that we want to make today, and I'm going to call on Tim McKinney from the United Way to come forward and make some presentations.
Thank you, Judge. And Judge Whitley, Mayor Price, Commissioners, thank you for inviting me to come to court today to announce the results of the United Way campaigns that both the city and the county ran this year. It was a high-stakes contest. As you know, the contest was the winner is going, whoever won is, what am I trying to say here? The greatest percentage over last year's campaign wins. That's the winner. And it was a high-stakes contest. The wager is the winner, whether it's he or her, is going to have to eat his or her words, not only eat their words, but wear this T-shirt. It says, "We lost, but the community won." Live United on the back.
Excellent.
Before I announce the winner, I do want to thank both the employees of the City of Fort Worth and the employees of Tarrant County for participating in this year's United Way campaign. Their donations, their investments are going to be needed by tens of thousands of residents all over the City of Fort Worth and Tarrant County, and we appreciate the support that the employees provide us. Now for the results of the campaign. I have to put on my glasses. I'll start off with the county. Tarrant County employees contributed $88,931 to the 2012 United Way campaign. That's an increase of 17% over the previous year's $75,744. City of Fort Worth employees did their best, and they contributed a lot of money. They contributed a total of $150,591. Unfortunately, that is a decrease of over 13% over the city's total of $173,393. So, Judge Whitley, you win. My condolences, Judge Whitley.
I guess losing to my original county family is not a bad deal, but we will win next year.
You did win last year.
They tricked me last year on how we did this, but I kind of caught up with them on this year. So next year we'll have to come up with a different way to do this.
Last year, he had to pedal me around Sundance Square at Petty Town, so next year, we go back to that.
We go back to the tab.
And here's the bet, I can wear this to city council tonight.
And I might just come down there and see if we can, see if I can harass you a little bit more.
Mayor, never get into a numbers contest with a CPA.
No, I screwed that up. I forgot my tax backing, or I would have known better, right?
Right.
Thank you all for doing this. It really is a pleasure to be back with you. It's always fun to see all my friends here at the county. We got a great working relationship, and it's like Tim said, 150,000 from the city. Was it 88,000 from y'all? That's a tremendous number for United Way, and we're very proud. And next year we will win. Thank y'all for having us.
Thank you, Betsy. And you are wearing that all day long and through the.
Yes, sir.
Come on down, Ann, and talk to us about our county and how we've done in the various departments that we've got.
Okay. I'm glad to be back. I'm excited to share with you. There's a picture.
Yes, that was me last year.
Next year's picture will be the one we just took, so we're looking forward to that. We had a wonderful effort on the part of a whole lot of people to make this partnership really exciting this year. Unfortunately, for some of us, what a lot of that meant was gaining weight, because in nearly every instance, one of the ways we used to earn money was to eat. And I had a difficult time finding photographs of people that did not have their mouths full, as you'll see. There's some wonderful pancakes and bacon. You can see each of the precincts made their efforts there. And here's one that I had to share. Perhaps one of the nicer efforts was Public Health's Choo Choo. I know you've seen this picture before, but they did a display in the lobby of Public Health, and they indeed raised over $10,000 and did a competition, and each area of Public Health had their own car that they filled with little nuggets of gold to represent the monies that they'd raised. It was a wonderful, exciting thing to see happen. Some people in the county are willing to go to any lengths to raise money, and our county clerk is one of our special awardees today. Mary Louise, we are giving you today the Top Dog Award. Other people aren't even satisfied to wear a hot dog suit. Some of them will even dress up like a penguin. And our friend Brian Kramer from Community Development. One aspect of this year's campaign was that our Tarrant County Credit Union generously offered to donate 10 $100 gift cards to employees whose names were randomly drawn if they donated more than $25 for their United Way campaign. And 10 people's names were randomly drawn. And I'm going to call their names. Tana Wolf from the credit union is here to give them their $100 gift cards. Susan Black from the auditor's office. Vince Dotson from Juvenile Services. This next name proves that it was a random drawing. David Phillips from Facilities. Sheila Wright from Juvenile Services.
You're going to have to move because they don't want the back of your head.
Scott Cermak from IT. Rochelle Maxwell from Public Health could not be here. Patricia Gregory from the County Clerk's Office. Teresa Bates from Public Health. Carlotta Ramirez from the Tax Office could not be here because her boss is getting a 30-year award today, so they needed to put somebody there to mind the store. And Jack Roach from Precinct 3. would be information technology. So Beverly, okay, Steve, come on.
Both of y'all come forward. Turn around there and get your picture took.
We give 2 sets of awards for accomplishments in the United Way campaign. One is for the highest per capita giving of a department. First place goes to the county judge's office. That's right, and second place goes to the county administrator's office. Lisa, you gonna make GK good? Okay. Third place goes to precinct 3.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then for our highest percentage increase,
You need to advance your slides if you're advancing.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I got distracted. Here we go, highest percentage increase. Third place goes to the resource connection. I'm not sure if someone's here from there. It's not. Second place goes to public health. This is a formidable, an impressive effort, 108.73% increase. Okay, and then IT back for first place, and I love to say the percentage of increase was 266.61%.
Wow. Indeed. It counts.
During the course of the last few years, Judge, since you've become a leader and leading us in our United Way campaign, we've really increased dramatically. I'd like to recognize that for the last 17 years, one group has been calmly raising money for the United Way with not much fanfare, but with a lot of success. And so I'd like to thank Precinct 4 and tell them to continue to keep calm and fry fish.
Thank you very much, Ann. I appreciate that.
Good job, Ann.
And again, I want to thank everyone. We have, I think, made some great progress over the last few years, and we still have a long way to go. I think there's still a lot that, we give so much to so many different charities. I cannot tell the employees how much I appreciate. There's the Tarrant Area Food Bank, there's the back-to-school efforts, there's the Adopt a School. There's so many things that you as employees do as what I call second-mile giving. I mean, you serve the public in your day-to-day jobs, but at the same time, you make every effort to go forth and to do other things. Meals on Wheels. Just things just keep coming to mind, and I want to thank you for again everything that you do. United Way is extremely important. They do a tremendous amount of work in our community, and I'm excited by the progress that we've made, and I've enjoyed very much the little competitions the mayor and I have had, and we'll continue to do that, or whatever it takes to increase the amount of money that we can raise for the United Way and for our community. So, again, thank all of y'all who participated this year. I would encourage you to help me in little friendly competitions among your various departments or within your departments so that we can continue to help and continue to grow in our support of the United Way. Now comes to our second recognition of our employees, and one that I enjoy very much every month. And again, right out of the box, we're going to recognize someone who is doing a lot of work outside of the county. Now, you know the routine. I'm going to call your name or what sounds like your name. You're going to, or approximately in the order of where your name should be called. I'm going to call you. Please stand, remain standing through that, particular group, and then we'll be able to give you a round of applause at the end of that. We're going to begin with our 5-year employees, and the first of those 5-year employees is Susan Ah with Community Development. There she is. Now, wait a minute. You're supposed to wait till the end. Okay. But now I'm going to allow you. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why we're going to give her a special round, because she is also this year the national spokesperson for the Arthritis Walk, and has done a tremendous amount of job. And so I think we do need to give her a special round of applause for that. Thank you very much for that special effort and for the work that you do there.
You got to keep standing, though. That's the rule.
Next is Alina Bangs from the District Attorney's Office. Molly Davis from the District Attorney's Office. Stuart DeJourney, Public Health. Christina Gallagher, Tax Office. Mamie Glover, Veterans Services. Sandra Guzman, Election Administrations. Carol Huntley, County Clerk's Office. Ellen Lawrence, Public Health. Daniel Martinez, Precinct 2 Maintenance. Alice Mathis, Human Services. Chris McClellan, Precinct 3 Maintenance. Kelly Nibalski, District Attorney's Office. Pamela Pinion, District Clerk's Office. Sharon Porter, Public Health. Dalen Sandoval, Public Health. Diane Strange, Public Health. Hershey Tatum, Constable, Precinct 8. Beth Taylor, Public Health. Joshua Underwood, District Clerk's Office. And William Wright, Sheriff Communications. Let's give these 5-year employees a big round. Thank y'all. Now for our 10-year employees. First is Mark Deeger, Sheriff Confinement. Charles Fox, Information Technology. Millie Hanna, Sheriff Warrants. Judy Hayes, District Attorney's Office. Julie Hillhouse, Auditor's Office. Paula Jennings, Sheriff Kitchen. Lawrence Keith, Sheriff Confinement. Gina Lobina Lewis, Public Health. Dinah O'Neill, District Attorney's Office. Bruce Parker, Sheriff Confinement. Christina Rocks, Public Health. Kathy Richmond, Sheriff Booking. Tamara Shelton, Sheriff Confinement. Jay Six, Sheriff Patrol. Brian Thurin, Sheriff Communication. Miss T.
There she is.
I was ready for you guys. Okay, now everybody be quiet. Tell us how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Miss T, we're welcome and glad you're here. Althea Walker, Sheriff, Booking. And Joe Whitlow, Transportation Services. Very good. Thank you all very much. These are our seniors. I'd have never gotten that one right. Now for our 15-year employees. Jose Arrojo, Sheriff Confinement. Marshall Bluxham, District Clerk's Office. Bobby Burton, Precinct 3 Maintenance. Bobby. Jerry DeWeese, Precinct 4 Maintenance. Mark Flake, Administrator's Office. Cheryl Guinuson. No. Guinus. Guinus?
Ganunas.
That sounds right. District Clerk's Office. Bill Henderson, Facilities Management. Rodney Kirk, Sheriff Labor Detail. Gladys Lafayette, Sheriff Confinement. Donald Lester, Sheriff Confinement. Tanya Payne, County Clerk's Office. Al Roy, Public Health. Frank Shelton, Transportation Services, right? Darren Smith, Sheriff Labor Detail. Let's give these 15-year employees a hand. Now for our 20-year employees, Shirley Decker, Domestic Relations. Patricia Payton, Human Services. And Sherry Rubin, Sheriff Courts. Let's give these 20-year employees a hand. Now for our 25-year plus employees. Our first one is Kimberly Provost with the District Attorney's Office. Now, she was on vacation and is not going to be coming back till later this week, so when you see Kimberly, be sure and thank her for the 25 years of service that she's given to Tarrant County. Next is Alfredo Valverde with the District Attorney's Office, 25 years. Okay, where is he? He thought he was going to be able to make it down here. Actually started in Brazos County, is working in the area where they determine whether they're going to be filing charges or not. Just, again, want to, well, one of the things that I'm going to say that he mentioned to me, he said, when I started work in Tarrant County, he said, I actually, as I said, came from Brazos County around College Station. He said, I left College Station on a Friday and came to work with a fever on Monday in Tarrant County. He moved up. He said, I just couldn't be sick the first day that I was supposed to report to work. And he said he stayed for most of the day, and then he went to the doctor's office, and they shot him full of penicillin and antibiotics and sent him home, and he came back the next day. So he really enjoys his time, and again, as you see him, please thank him for his 25 years of service. Now, next, as was referenced earlier, Carol Smith with the tax office, 30 years of service today. She started when she was just a baby.
10 years old.
Again, had come to work. It worked for about a year, then left for 3 months, and so she's actually at it. We've always kind of missed her because of the fact that there was a little discrepancy on these months in the service because she came and left and then came back, but she's actually been here 30 years. Started in the tax office on the line in title section. I guess Reed Stewart actually hired you and brought you on board. Became a manager out in the Grapevine area and now is at Northeast. She said, you know, there's been a lot of memorable moments, but at the time that I caught her, she said, I just can't remember any of them right off the top of my head. She said, what I like most, or she wouldn't tell me, what I like most is the people that I've had a chance to work with. She said, sometimes it's a love-hate relationship, but at the same time, she said, I really enjoy the folks that we get a chance to work with. She said it really is one big family. She said even when you're kind of the manager or the boss over the area, everybody still acts and treats it as a big family. She says, I love the stability of that. I love the benefits. She said really the whole package is something that I've enjoyed over the last 30 years. And she kind of ended by saying, you know, I thanked her, and she says, well, no, I want to thank you. I want to thank the county for having had the opportunity to work here. Carol, we're the ones that have benefited from your service here to Tarrant County, and thank you very much for giving us those 30 years. Next is Sharon Whalen, the Law Library. There's Sharon. Sharon also started out in the Law Library as Assistant Director. She said her first office was actually in the elevator shaft. And that, you know, that she became the director when Frances Perry retired. Now, 5 years ago when I talked with her, Frances was still working part-time and was at 83. Now, in talking with Sharon, she said that Frances is now fully retired, but that she, you know, really loved her time with the county. When I asked Sharon about the more memorable moments, she said, you know, we were right next door from where the shooting occurred. And she says that's something that, you know, that really I will never forget. She loves the variety of what she does. It's a little bit of everything. And working with the public and the ability to really help people. When I asked her kind of what had occurred over the last 5 years, she said, you know, as we've watched the people who come in and use our services, what we've found is that with the internet and with other things that we're actually seeing less lawyers and more people who are there representing themselves. And she says that can sometimes be a little challenging. More and more stuff is moving to the computers. There's less and less paper involved in the law library now than what there has been in the past. That certainly we're moving more to the digital age. Sharon, again, thank you very much for the 30 years that you've given the citizens of Kansas. Again, this represents 705 years of service to our county, and we appreciate every one of your efforts. Wilder's getting a head start for the food back there at the receptions. So, you know, I want to give him plenty of time to get back there so he can get all the cookies he wants before the rest of y'all make it back there. But, again, we appreciate you, and we want to thank you. There will be refreshments if there's any left back in 504C. So at this, we'll kind of recess for just a minute and allow y'all to head back that way. Court members, you have before you the consent agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius?
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we have two additional items for you this morning. The first one, we're requesting that the Court approve payment from the DA's budget for phlebotomist services performed outside the designated times as relates to the no refusal program grant. Let me explain a little bit what happened. The hours of operation on the no refusal program is 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. And there were some arrests that were made right at 4 a.m. And so the blood draw occurred after that. We worked with TxDOT, but because our grant was structured as an 8 to 4, we want to make sure we pay the nurses for that particular time.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Members of the Court, on item number 2, we're requesting that the Court approve interim financing. This relates to grant year 2012 with U.S. Housing and Urban Development. This is a tenant-based leasing assistance program. This amount is $436,226. This will provide up to 4 months' worth of funding. This is something that we do every year. We get the award, but to put the contracts together, it takes a little time on the federal government's part, and so we're requesting that you authorize the interim financing for 4 months.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Phillips?
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's requested that Commissioners Court approve a contract with Sadalco Incorporated and accept the payment and performance bonds for the demolition of the old Civil Courts building at 100 North Houston, Fort Worth, Texas.
Move approval.
Second.
26 plus years I've been waiting on this.
What's your timeline, Mr. Phillips?
Commissioner will be finished in September.
Wonderful.
With the demolition.
Justin, press the button.
I don't know if we have any buttons to press, but we'll certainly get him out there if he wants to run the excavator.
Well, I did on the sub-courthouse, you know.
We might all want to do a little bit of that. Okay. Just be careful what you suggest. Now, any other discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
We're excited about getting that started and done as quickly as possible. Ms. Glenn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 3 items for the court this morning. The first item, we're asking the court to receive and file the personnel agenda.
So move.
Second.
A motion and a second to receive and file personnel agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our second item, we're asking the court to approve a waiver of terminal benefits for the county clerk's office. The county clerk had her executive secretary 2 retire at the end of January with 328 vacation hours. The county clerk is requesting a waiver of 272 of those vacation hours effective February 12th. We're estimating a cost savings to the general fund of approximately $2,100.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
And our third and final item, we're asking the court to approve an out-of-class pay extension for juvenile services. If granted, this extension will run through the middle part of May, and we're estimating the fiscal impact to be approximately $1,600 to the general fund.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Wessel.
Your Honor, members of the court, as Steve comes forward, I'd like to make a few comments on the IT section. Come on, Steve. First one is the overall master contract that we have with CUC as it relates to TexShare. The second one is one I'd like to make a comment on. That's the JCMS program. While, as you read your court communication, it said that this is the maximum not to exceed on the contract. We believe that as an evaluation occurs within the first 3 to 4 months of this program, that those numbers will change and that they will diminish to a certain extent. Also, one final thing before Steve makes his presentation, we have, CUC has restructured TechShare, and we now have an oversight committee, and Judge Whitley is chairing that oversight committee. We also have stakeholder committees that will function in the role of what the oversight committee did last time. So we're looking forward to the judge's leadership on this, and just please note that on the second item that we believe when we come back, we're going to be amending that contract eventually to diminish the amount of money we're asking for.
Thank you, GK. Good morning.
Good morning.
First item, we have two items, but the first one is relating to our interlocal agreement. We respectfully request the Commissioners Court to approve the 2013 Master Interlocal Agreement between Tarrant County and the Texas Conference of Urban Counties for participating in the Urban Counties TechShare program. Very valuable program. It does a lot of good for us and many other organizations.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Second item I have, building on GK's comments, it's requested that the Commissioner Court approve TechShare Juvenile and the Juvenile Case Management System Basic 2013 Resource Sharing Addendum by and among Dallas County, Dallas, and Tarrant County, Tarrant, collectively referred to as funding counties, and the Texas Juvenile Probation Commission, TJPC, and the Texas Conference of Urban Counties, CUC, and authorize the county auditor to release the payment, and this is the first payment, of $620,529 without first appearing on the claims register.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Mr. Beecham? Nope. You still full from your catfish? Is that what you're?
You know, I ain't gonna beat LSU in basketball.
Okay, good morning. We have one item for your consideration this morning. We're asking for the approval of an exemption from competitive bidding requirements for the purchase of reagent-grade chemicals, controls, and proficiency testing materials for the Public Health Department to the vendors listed on your court communique. This is an item we bring to you annually, where we're able to, where we're asking for exemption for very specific chemicals that are used in the testing laboratory, which has to meet certain requirements. And so we're asking for permission for the exemption today on that.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Riley? No? Okay, where's it guys?
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Greetings.
Good morning. We are requesting your approval of a renewal agreement with the City of Richland Hills. This is related to improvements to Baker Boulevard.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fickus.
Yes. We have an interlocal, and I would, with City of Colleyville, move for approval. And that would be on 9M1, A, B, C, and D.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Also Euless. Yes.
Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner
Move
Johnson.
approval of item 9M2, A and B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Any appointments today? Being none, then we will, you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims, including the addendum. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items, Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we have two items to bring to you this morning. The first is the weekly update on the seasonal flu. Dr. Kurian is here to address the Court at this time.
Good morning, Dr. Perry.
Since the beginning of the season, this is the first time that we have seen decline in two of our indicators that we used to track flu activity for 2 weeks in a row now. One of these indicators, like I mentioned last time, is the flu-related doctor's visits, or flu-like illness-related doctor's visits. That has declined from 10.6 to 9.7% in week 4. 11.7 to 10.6 to 9.7%. Although there is a decline in this marker, this is still above the county baseline of 3.8%. The other marker that's declining is the percent of respiratory specimens testing positive for flu. And that has declined from 32.9% last week to 23.6% this week. Sorry, 26.3% this week, yes. H3N2 still continues to be the predominant circulating strain. As far as the geographic spread of flu goes, we are still at the widespread activity level. All 4 quadrants of the county still continue to have high levels of flu-like illness activity. Coming to the hospitalization rates and the death rates. With flu, just want to point out, with flu, it's very typical to see the phased response, meaning in the early part of the season, you tend to see more number of cases of flu and flu-like illnesses. And as the season progresses, because of the natural progression of the disease, you tend to see a higher rate of hospitalizations and deaths. So currently, the overall hospitalization rate nationwide is 25.9 per 100,000 population. The segment of population that belongs to the 65 years and older continues to be the hardest hit population segment. More than 50% of the hospitalizations are seen in this segment of the population. As far as the flu-associated pediatric mortality goes, nationwide we have 45 deaths reported. Statewide we have 9. Tarrant County continues to have 1 flu-associated pediatric mortality. On the vaccine front, we still have plenty of vaccines available. According to the most recent National Immunization Survey and the National Internet Flu Survey, approximately, slightly over 60% of Americans have still not taken advantage of the flu vaccine. And despite the vigorous pace of flu this season, the vaccination coverage rate is similar to what we saw last season. So public health officials have a lot of work to do as far as the messaging goes. And the foremost reason that the survey respondents pointed out, besides not wanting vaccination at all, is that they don't believe the vaccine is effective in preventing flu. Well, we are the first ones to admit flu vaccine is far from being perfect, yet it is still the best tool available to prevent flu at this time. So please get vaccinated if you haven't been vaccinated. Thanks for your time.
Thank all of us.
Thank you. I've had mine.
I had flu vaccine, and then I caught the flu, but I was only down for 2 days.
Okay.
I was up and running again, so I think it has a lot to do with the vaccine.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You can still, flu vaccine will never give you flu, but it's still possible for you to contract flu after you've been vaccinated because of a number of reasons. One is the incubation period. If you've been exposed to somebody who's been ill with flu 24 hours prior to you being vaccinated, or 2 weeks after you've been vaccinated, because it takes 2 weeks for the immunity to develop, you are likely to get the disease. And that's number one reason. Number two reason, we all know 10% of the flu circulating viruses are new viruses that may not be in the vaccine. So that's the likelihood. So like you said, but the positive side is if you've been vaccinated, you tend to run a milder course. And most important, the transmissibility of the disease falls dramatically. So you're not making, the chances of you making other people sick falls. And that's very important to keep the community safe.
I don't want to make other people sick.
Yes. So absolutely. So do it not for yourself, but for the people around you. Get vaccinated. So thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Finally, members of the court, on the legislative issues, item B, Mr. Mendez has put in your file his weekly report. I'd just like to point out two things that are on that report. First of all, the governor presented his State of the State address, and he is recommending that the legislature take $3.7 billion out of the rainy day fund. $2 billion of that is for water, and the remainder is for transportation-related activities. And then also in that report there is the committee assignments in the House, and you'll be able to see how our delegation, or what committees our delegation sit on. And then finally, and it was in the newspaper this morning, it's not in the report, I want you to know that the education lawsuit in Austin, Judge Dietz out of Travis County ruled on that yesterday in favor of the schools, and so that will now begin the appellate process. It's unknown, probably will not be considered to any great degree in this legislative session because of the timing of the appellate process, but will be looked at in the near future, depending on how that appeal turns out. I'll try to answer any questions the court might have on that. If there aren't any, Your Honor, that's all we have this morning.
No closed?
That's all we have in open this morning.
Okay. We'll now recess our open session to proceed to close to discuss items exempted under Sections 551.071, 072, 074, 076, and 087 of the Texas Government Code. Having returned from our closed session, we'll now address the following matters.
Yes, this is under item F1. We're requesting a motion in the prescribed form that must be read into the record in order to proceed with this condemnation.
I move that the Tarrant County Commissioners Court authorize the use of the power of eminent domain to acquire a 0.0441 acre tract of land situated in the Hayes Covington Survey, abstract number 257, being a part of Lot 19R, Block 7 of Benbrook Estates, in addition to the City of Benbrook, as recorded in Cabinet A, Slide 6525 of the Plat Records of Tarrant County, Texas, a part of the property whose address is 8651 Benbrook Boulevard in the City of Benbrook, Tarrant County, Texas, for use in a public project known as the laying out and reconstruction of U.S. Highway 377 from Winscott Lakeway to Interstate 20 in Benbrook, Texas, and authorize the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office to initiate condemnation proceedings to acquire this property for this public use.
Second. What they said. Any discussion?
In one run-on sentence.
As prescribed by the Texas legislature.
Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. There being no further business, we're adjourned.
I would not follow. Man runs our education.
Just a lunch. You may have that.